Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good morning everybody. Happy Saturday and welcome to another edition of the AccessToTrader.com weekend update show. Hope everybody is doing well. Guys, take a moment out, support the channel. I really appreciate you guys taking a few minutes out of your day to kind of hear what I have to say. And thank you very much. All I ask in return is to click that like button. And again, I will hopefully point you in the right direction. So we've been in, every single day you've kind of been watching the broadcast. We've been kind of formulating the same thought process, right? We're in this middle channel. We're in this range for the last 6 weeks, right? 6 weeks. We lost the 50-day moving average on February the 3rd, and we tried to reclaim it back on the 25th, and we got failed. And we've been sitting in this pretty much disgusting almost 6 weeks cycle for, it feels like 12 years, but it's only been 6 weeks. The action has been relatively really solid in the first 5.5 weeks. If you guys remember, Monday was fine. Tuesday I overtraded. Wednesday I gave back my whole week. And then kind of what we talked about on Wednesday's video, which is very, very important. And I think this goes to all traders, whether you're trading for 27 weeks or 27 years, you got to adapt, man. You got to adapt. What's not working based on market conditions or market structure, you have to figure it out. We talked about it on Wednesday's video. I wasn't sitting there blaming the market. I wasn't sitting there trying to figure out excuses. It's all about accountability. I mean, you're a brand, you are a professional trader. I don't care if you're trading for one day, your money's just as green as everybody else. You got to figure it out. That's what you paid for. You paid for figuring it out. And we adapted on Thursday and we adapted on Friday. And again, what we needed to figure out, we figured it out. And that's the testimony to not only the process, it's a testimony to people in the webinar. Just say, well, wait a minute, there's something wrong here in the structure. We're in this dense, very structured channel that doesn't want to get out of its range. We got to figure it out. That's exactly what we did. So kudos for everybody who, again, just mentally strong. You got to have thick skin because, again, at the end of the day, you're not entitled. The market's not there to make you whole, to make you rich, to make you this, to make you that. It's just there, right? It's there. And your job based on market sentiment and market conditions is to figure out the low-hanging fruit and make adjustments. You don't got to go all the way down back to the drawing board, just make adjustments. And we knew for this whole duration of the 6 weeks period, we knew we had to get back above the 50-day moving average on the upside, right? That was that 614 level we talked about on Wednesday. And then we talked about that 605 level, the two intermediate channels that needed to break down for a potential move back down to 597, which was the 150-day moving average. And that was the bottom of the channel for the last 6 weeks. So we knew macro-wise, 614 was going to trigger a buy signal, and 597 we knew was going to trigger a sell signal. And on Friday was the first close below 597 in this whole channel, in this whole distribution cycle that was pretty disgusting. And now we're looking at the QQQ's past performance just in the last 3 months. We enter Monday's session again, first close below the 150-day moving average and down 4% for the past 3 months. So what do the Qs need to do, right? What do the bulls need to do? Well, you got to get back above 597, right? Forget about 614 right now. Forget about the 50-day moving average. You got to get back above 597, which is the 150-day. The longer you stay and close below 597, now you're looking at a really, really disgusting, really aggressive area, which is the 200-day. If you think the 50-day moving average is important, the 200-day moving average is the motherlode, right? There's nothing bigger of support or resistance than the 200-day moving average. Guys, I'm going to tell you what the 200-day moving average is. It's 591. It's also correlated with the March 9th lows. By the way, the greatest rap of all time died on March 9th. If you don't know who that is, you can't be my friend. So the 200-day moving average is 591. Last week's lows, it's the monthly lows, 591. Bulls, you got to stay above 591 because if you think the 50-day moving average was a little bit rough, it's going to feel like a day at the beach if we start closing and building below 591. That's going to literally take out this whole buying cycle that you've experienced, that you loved for the last couple of years. So the bulls stay above 591, stay above 591, stay above 591. If you are a two-sided trader and you're interested in pivots, guys, you're going to want to, kind of, see what the markets has to offer you. If you're an active trader, come hang out 30 days, come hang out on the webinar, kick the tires, test it out. If you're an investor, again, you got to make plans to start adjusting your portfolio. Again, if we start losing 591 and start building, well, we're going to start getting some pretty aggressive prices. If you look at the weekly chart, right? If you look at the weekly chart, you can see here, look how much support there is on the weekly chart. We lose this 591, then we start getting into pretty aggressive selling territory. And again, day by day, folks, I'm not trying to predict where the market's going to be a year from now, a week from now, 5 days from now. I am waiting for Monday. All my preparation is for Monday. All these pivots that we're about to talk about is on Monday. So 591, 591, 591. Line in the sand, make adjustment. That's going to be a very, very key area. If you look at the SPYs, right? SPYs are, again, first close below the 150-day moving average. If you look at the diamonds, we're going to use the diamonds. The diamonds lost the 50-day moving average, lost the 100-day moving average, lost the 150-day moving average, and now it's 3 points away from losing the 200-day moving average. As you can see, this is a pretty important week coming up for the bulls, right? For the really, really aggressive. Again, guys, keep this in mind. There's, the bull market has been so strong for generation. Brand new traders have adopted, no matter where I buy, eventually in the next couple of months, I'll be okay. And that's usually true, right? That's usually true. I'll be the first person to champion that point. But keep this in mind. When we started building below the 50-day moving average in 2022, it lasted for 13 months, okay? There's an old adage on Wall Street, can you stay solvent longer than you can be right? Right? So again, I'm not trying to fear monger. You guys know me. I'm not a bull. I'm not a bear. I'm a realist. I'm an opportunist. So whatever I'm saying, it's not an attack on your portfolio. It's not an attack on your personal stock that you feel it is the greatest company in the world. It's just reality. Technical analysis is real. And when it kicks in aggressively, it's going to kick in very, very practical. So you have to make adjustments before the necessary channels do get confirmed. You look at all the Magnificent Seven stocks, they're all now red on the year, right? Doesn't make a difference which ones they are. Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, Google, AMD, whatever you want to call, right? No matter how great these companies are, and no matter how great you think these things are going to be 5 years from now, Apple as well, the moral of the story is they're all red for the year. So guys, be very, very aware of that 591 level. Any close below. Now, again, keep this in mind. We can violate 591, and we've seen that over and over and over again. We can violate 591. We can have a $3, $4 washout, and then there'll be this magical kick save like the market loves to do and starts reclaiming it back on the close. That's a whole different story, but you want to make sure that the Qs do not close below that 591 level. 591 should give a pretty good wash, at least for cash flow, $1, $2, $3, maybe $4, depending how severity of potential selling could be. But it all starts and ends at 591. You don't need to sit there and debate on social media if the market's a long, the market's a short. 591 is literally the line in the sand. Again, do with this information what you feel like. So going Friday, again, market started breaking down. If you've been following me on social media, you've been watching this broadcast, I think you've known 597 was a pretty, I've shared these levels with you guys. 597 was a big area. Qs went all the way down to like 592. Again, 591, 591, 591. So big move on the Qs on Friday. AMD got shelled. AMD 196.67. Short here is AMD, right? Here is AMD. Took out the 5, took out the 10. Now it's, again, it's going to have its own line in the sand in the 200-day moving average. We'll get to that in a second. Stock went down about $4 as well. Amazon, not a big move, like a $1.50 move. Off that 208.15 level, which is kind of odd. I thought it was going to be a bigger move. And a stock that held up, I traded Tesla on Friday I traded Tesla on Friday, but it wasn't exactly the smoothest move in the world. There was a buyer there. They were trying to clean up, but 93.80s pre-market low would also confirm the previous channel's bottom. Traded down to 390. And the reason why that's important right now, right? The reason why that is important right now, because Tesla, this is the first close on Tesla below the 200-day moving average. That's a big deal, right? That's really, really a big deal. Again, when we just talked about the Qs, we talked about the diamonds, the spies, potential major technical damage if that happens. Well, Tesla did close below the 200-day moving average. Any confirmation of Friday's channel, could see, the next test could be the March 9th lows. Again, the greatest rapper of all time died on March 9th. If you don't know who that is, you're not my friend. Right? We could test, if we start losing Friday's channel, we could go all the way down to the 3.9 lows. So I'm definitely going to be watching that as well. What else? Meta, unfortunately, we didn't have a chance to trade. All the price action happened pre-market and it just got absolutely destroyed. So we were talking about a 626.78 potential if it holds. So, you could get long and go higher. And not only did it hold, it went from like 626.70s to like 623 pre-market. And then I just left it alone. Again, as you can see, if it loses the reins, it's a short. The stock just got murdered. I never, unfortunately, traded Meta. NBIS actually gave a trade to the upside, took out earnings highs, went from 15 to like almost 17. That was pretty good. CRWV gave a quick trade as well, 93.70s. I traded up a little less than $1, but again, in this type of market is actually pretty decent. So look, I think going into tomorrow's session, Monday's session, you have to be wary. I do believe that the majority of my, social media followers are investors, because it gets really, really quiet when the market goes down. Everybody's all excited when the market's rallying. So I'm speaking to the trader aspect of the people who watch this video. Again, if you're an investor, whatever. There's really nothing I can tell you that's going to make you feel happy or make you feel okay. The only thing I can say is you'll be all right in time. Again, the question is, can you be solvent longer than you can be right? But for the investors, right? For the trader's point of view, we are entering the first day, right? The first day below the bottom channel. Okay. If you're an active two-way trader, again, like I said, if you are interested in pivots, it could be good, man. It could be really, really good because we're finally out of this channel. The question is, can the bulls reclaim back this channel? In a weird way, if you're sensitive, leave the room for a second. I would prefer, right? I would prefer for a couple of days we got a little bit more downside action because we're finally out of this range. Because what's going to happen is if we go back above 597, we got all these trees to kind of scale out just to get back to the top of the range. So it's going to be a lot more choppier. The value is below the 150-day moving average. And obviously the value, if we close below 591, could get very, very aggressive. Let me give you guys some ideas for Monday. All right, let me give you guys some ideas for Monday. Again, we just talked about the Qs pretty much in nauseum. I like Tesla, obviously. I like Tesla below today's channel. I like Amazon below Friday's channel. I like this AVAV. AVAV is usually not a stock that I would watch, but this $50 channel reversal is kind of interesting. So I will be watching it. I don't think it's going to trigger on Monday, but I will be watching this thing for a confirmation of the March 2nd lows, because this thing gets down below March 2nd lows, man. Look at this candle here. It's just showing you what potentially could happen next. You got Apple. Honestly, it doesn't make a difference what stock. Just watch these things below Friday's channels. I'm just talking about the Magnificent Seven. Look at Apple below Friday's channel as well. Meta still looks like it's going to be free fall. Is there a chance it sees the January lows this week? Very, very possible, especially if the Qs confirm the 50-day moving average. And Softy's been right? It's been ish for a long time. It's been ish since it lost its 50-day moving average on November the 4th at 507. Guys, we're at 395. So let's watch this thing as well. So that's it, guys. We are set up for Monday. Again, bulls, you got to get back above 597 on the Qs. Bears, you got to come in, punch a hole in that 591 channel. and let it all, and let the bodies hit the floor. Guys, have a great weekend, everybody. God bless, and I'll see a lot of you guys on Monday. Take care.